Hi guys, well I got to see The Amazing Spider-Man 2 last night. Really been looking forward to this. Actually enjoyed the first one. Didn't think it was a fantastic, brilliant superhero movie, but I still enjoyed it for what it was. I like Spider-Man. I've enjoyed Spider-Man in the comics for a long time. Enjoyed the cartoons on TV. So I've been a Spider-Man fan for a long time. Definitely one of my favourite Marvel characters, even as a child. So really been looking forward to this. I felt that Amazing Spider-Man, for all its faults, did set the ground for a fantastic sequel, and I had my fingers crossed and thinking this was going to be a lot better. For me though, it was a mixed bag, I'm afraid, and I would say enjoyment wise, I would not say it was really any better than the first Amazing Spider-Man. If you want to see a brilliant Spider-Man film, Spider-Man 2 for me is still the best Spider-Man film out there. I'll just go through some of the things that I had a problem with it and some of the things that I enjoyed. The first 20 minutes of The Amazing Spider-Man 2 is really good. I liked how it went back to Peter Parker's parents and showed exactly what happened to them after they gave Peter to his uncle and aunt. Then it gets into this action scene involving Spider-Man and some bank robbers, and that is fantastic. Really enjoyable. I love the humour. It was like it was straight out of the comic book, and the Spider-Man costume looks absolutely fantastic. I'm glad they're going for the more classic design from the cartoons and the comics, and I would actually say it's probably the best Spider-Man costume that's ever been on film. Peter Parker, Andrew Garfield plays Spider-Man when he's allowed to be his fun-loving, wisecracking self, able to be very much like the comics and the cartoons. He's fantastic as that, and that was for me the most enjoyable part, when it's really like got a lot of humour in it. It's what sets it aside from other Marvel and DC films that are a little bit more serious, with the exception probably of Iron Man 3. But for the most part of the first 20 minutes, very enjoyable, and I was actually sitting there thinking, hey, this might actually be the best Spider-Man I've ever seen. Unfortunately, after that, it then has to really get into some plot lines and some plot threads, and to be honest with you, they're just trying to cram too much into this. And the fact is, the film is like about 2.5 hours long, and it felt long for me. And even though it's got this long running time, certain things suffer because there's still not enough time to cram everything that they're trying to cram into it. We've got a Peter Parker trying to investigate what's happened to his parents, and for me the payoff on that story thread, the whole conclusion to that, I was still a bit puzzled as to why his father abandoned him. Maybe I can investigate it and go online and find out exactly what that was all about, but the payoff on that was not very well explained in the movie for me. Other people might say, oh well, I got it straight, I got it easily, I don't know what's the real problem. But I know, I can tell you what happened, but once it was revealed, I was like, oh, okay, well, why did he still have to do what he did? But anyway, that part of him with investigating it does drag the movie a little bit, especially in the middle. That bit can be a bit boring in my opinion, a bit laborious, him investigating that, especially as the payoff isn't that great. The storyline between him and Harry Osborn, and the Harry Osborn story, that's really well done. I enjoyed that. They didn't have the luxury of building up their relationship from 3 films like the Raimi films did. But I like their chemistry. I thought they still come across as that they may have been friends, and rekindling their friendship, and that was well done. I enjoyed the relationship also between Peter Parker and his aunt. I thought they have a really good relationship in this film. The Gwen Stacy Peter Parker relationship, another thing that was going through this film. A lot of screen time was given to that, and I do understand that obviously love stories and relationships in Spider-Man films is important, but I still felt that they could have edited some of that down. It did, once again, even though the chemistry is good and I enjoy them on screen together, a lot of that did make the movie drag for me. and it got in the way of basically Peter Parker being able to be Spider-Man, and it got in the way of the Electro storyline as well, because that's trying to wrestle and struggle to get screen time with all these other plot threads that are going around. And while Jamie Foxx, I really enjoyed his character before he becomes Electro, he sort of then becomes Electro, has to take a back seat for a lot of the other storylines that are being put in place, and there's actually stuff that's being put into this storyline that's building up to go into the third movie, so he's having to take a back seat for that. Then he comes back in later on in the film, and he's not given much to do apart from being a boo-hiss baddie and Spider-Man having to fight him. I enjoyed the fight scenes, that has to be said. So while the middle part drags with, you know, too much time spent on the investigating, too much time, even though it was enjoyable, too much time spent on the relationship between Peter Parker and Gwen Stacy, it does pick up in the final 20 minutes. The action really builds up again. It becomes as good as it was at the start of the film. Really in edge of your seat moments while you're watching on screen. There's one moment where you're like, whoa, that's wow, you know, when you see, I can't say it because I don't want to spoil it, but there is a moment which you know, it'll mean a lot to a lot of Spider-Man fans. And as I said, the final 20 minutes really does pick up well. I just feel the film suffered with the fact that it wasn't more of a standalone film. It feels very much like a middle section of a film, like a middle section of, say, the Catching Fire, or the middle section of, as I said, the Hunger Games Catching Fire, or the middle section of a Middle-earth film like The Hobbit Part 2, or The Two Towers, where it's saying, okay, we're in the middle part, this is what's happening, but also you're going to have to get a really good payoff, you're going to have to see Part 3. And that is exactly how this film finishes. You're kind of sitting there going, okay, that's the ending, is it? Okay, I'm definitely going to have to wait now a couple of years to see what happens next. So enjoyable in places, definitely the first 20 minutes. Really enjoyed the finale 20 minutes of the film. But very long, drawn out, really needed some good editing, could have been cut, needs to be cut down to under 2 hours, about 2 hours maybe, maximum. I think it suffered with trying to do too much in one movie, and for me, I wouldn't say it was any better than the first Amazing Spider-Man overall. Definitely Spider-Man 2, my favourite still. And but I do enjoy Andrew Garfield as Peter Parker Spider-Man. I think he was great. All the characters in this film did the actors that played the characters in the film did a good job. That is all enjoyable. But I really hope in the third film, now they've got a lot of this storyline put in place and built up for a great all-action third movie. I hope that is what happens. No more like bringing in loads more villains and building up loads of origin stories that get in the way of each other, hopefully in the third one. So how do I feel about this film? Well, I was juggling with 3.5 stars to 3 stars. I think all the stuff that I really enjoyed that's there on screen to enjoy, I think it's good enough to give it 3.5 stars out of 5. I'll catch you later.